happily retired now. Hooray for you. Happily retired now. What you gonna do? There's books to read and golf to play, naps to take, have fun all day. You're happily retired today. Hooray.
The views expressed on this special broadcast of the Take 12 radio show do not necessarily reflect those of KHLT Recovery Broadcasting or its affiliates. KHLT is not affiliated with any particular 12-step fellowship.
A very scary experience.
You know, God is a solution. God, the 12 step.
I like where he's going here.
Helps the community grow, helps us grow.
Monty has done a phenomenal job.
Lack of open-mindedness.
And you're talking about taking people through a spiritual process, getting them into recovery.
Thanks, Monty, and thanks for all your support.
We need spirituality to make this thing work long term.
It's an absolute pleasure. He certainly knows a lot of people.
This is one of the places that is about the business of the solution.
And now, broadcasting on location somewhere in the vast expanse of the Pacific Northwest, it's the over-opinionated 12-stepologist, the Monty Man.
That's right. Well, welcome aboard, one and all, to another fine episode of the Take 12 Recovery Radio Show. Way deeply past and integrated into and submerged in and encompassed by our 17th year of broadcasting, almost 18, and we love it. And in the studio with me right now, and if you're watching on YouTube, there they are. There's Denver.
Howdy.
And Derek.
Good morning.
Wave, Denver and Derek. Wave. And Roger McDermott is on the phone from Huntington Beach, California, where the sun is shining, I'm sure. Right, Roger?
No, actually, it's overcast and cloudy. I want to be like Oregon, so maybe
yes.
Congratulations.
That is wonderful. The topic this week, retirement in recovery. Now, we're not talking about, somebody sent me an email. They said, you never retire from recovery. What's wrong with you? That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. People do get older and they do retire from their jobs, people in recovery. What does that look like? I mean, we got a couple of retirees right here, right now.
Brand new ones.
Yeah. Denver just retired from his job. And what were you doing for a job, Denver?
Oh, I was a car painter for a number of years, and then I took up working at the county as a janitor.
Yeah.
Wonderful way to end up my career. It was part-time, so I kind of slipped into retirement, learning how to slow down.
Sure.
Which wasn't that rough.
Yeah. And Derek, he's just a youngster.
That's right.
Right? So he's not ready to retire yet.
Oh, I'm ready. But
you're ready too?
I just don't think it's an option.
I'm ready.
Yeah. So Derek is in ministry and works for the Adult and Teen Challenge Recovery Center here in Shed, Oregon, the same place that I currently work for. But as of April 13th, I will be officially retired from that job. And so Denver and I were talking about it, what we were going to do for a topic this week. And we thought it was appropriate to talk about retirement in recovery because people eventually do retire.
Hopefully.
And that means that there's going to be some probably, our day is going to look majorly different. Roger, how many years you got before you hit the old retirement bag?
So this is a topic of conversation frequently these days. I don't have a date. I don't view retirement as a goal for me.
Mm-hmm.
I love what I do in my job, and I have a lot of freedom.
Yeah.
And they pay me well, and I do well, and I like the company, and I like my customers. So I'm probably gonna stay working until I drop, or the company tells me to
right.
remove thyself.
Right.
But,
yeah. No, good for you.
I enjoy it too much, and I have, I get to travel on my job, and there's just tons of benefits.
Right.
And unless I have something else to move into, I'm not a guy that I just can't sit around with no purpose and nothing to do. So
yeah.
Ministry is a huge part of my life, but I'm afforded those opportunities, and working, it seems to fit together like a glove.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good deal. Yeah. So we're going to be talking about that. But first.
And now.
Aha.
It's the quiz of the week.
That's right, everybody. It's time for the Take 12 Recovery Radio Quiz of the Week. Not that we have one every week, but it's the quiz for this week.
It's a surprise to me.
Let's see if we can stump the calls. I like that little ditty there. If you get the answer correct, Derek, Roger, and Denver, you get Denver's cowbell. If you get it wrong, you get the fluff machine. There you go.
That's disgusting.
I know. I love it. Okay, question number 1. The full retirement age for all Americans is 66. Is that true or false? Roger?
False.
What do you say, Derek?
False.
After much research, horribly false.
That's right. While 66 is the age for Americans born through 1954, the number increases by 2 months for every birth year from 1955 through 1959. For anyone born in 1960 or later, it's 67. Why is this important? It's the age at which you can begin receiving Social Security payments without being penalized. So you guys all are right. You get the lovely cowbell. Okay, question number 2. What type of bicycle seat did baby boomers find popular? Was it, now here are your choices, was it the standard bicycle seat, the banana seat, or the strawberry seat? Denver, what do you think?
What year was that we're talking
Baby
about?
boomers.
That'd be 60s. Bananas rings a bell with me, so I'm just going to go with that.
Banana seat? Okay.
Yeah, that's a funny year.
Derek, what do you think?
I'm not sure what a strawberry seed is, but I like bananas.
You like bananas?
I think
okay.
I'm going to roll with Denver. Yeah, the banana seat.
Roger?
I don't know what a strawberry seed is either, but I'm going to pick strawberry seed.
Are you? Well, sorry.
Standard.
Roger is incorrect. You guys are correct. It is the banana seat.
What a horrible seat, too, I might add.
Yeah.
They were really just not right.
But you can get 2
when you say
people on
baby
there.
boomers,
You
you're
could-
referring to the youth of that age, that group, correct?
Yes.
You could double
yeah, I
up.
would have picked the banana seat because everybody had one.
Yep. Number 3. Baby boomers will remember when TV didn't have this. Was it smoking, bad words, or women? What do you think, Roger? Do you remember when TV didn't have this?
Bad words.
Derek?
Yeah, probably bad words.
Denver, what do you think?
100% bad words.
Yeah, you guys are correct. Yeah, there were plenty of women on TV, and there was plenty of smoking.
Plenty of smoking. I watch a few old shows. Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness. They're just smoking up a storm.
Oh, I know.
Right.
Remember I Love Lucy? She had a cigarette in her
Oh,
mouth all the
yeah.
time. Yeah.
Lucy.
All right, here's your last one. More baby boomers were required to show up for dinner at this time of day more than any other time. Was it 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, or 7 o'clock? Roger, what do you think?
I was always late, so none of those would have applied to me. I'd say I'm going to go with 5 o'clock.
Okay.
That would have been my first choice too. They
Yeah?
started early.
Okay.
Well, coming from a working class, I would have to say 6 because Dad didn't get home until 5.
Actually, you're incorrect there, Denver.
Oh, Dad.
Yeah. Derek and Roger are correct. The most common time was 5 o'clock for dinner.
I'm kind of with Roger though. When the street lights came on, that's about the time I got home.
Right.
It was dark. It was dark. I had to get home.
And so it was very common for many families to basically, especially in summertime, basically the kids launched forth on their day, and they didn't have to be back home until dinner, and we didn't worry about, parents didn't worry about where we were. We had a hill behind our house in Petaluma, California. And during the summertime, of course, it was perfect cardboard sliding season, and the neighborhood kids would go up there and we'd have dirt clot fights and bow and arrow fights with real arrows.
Right. Yeah, of course.
And we would slide down the hill on cardboard and we'd be up there all day long. But by gollies, you better be at dinner by 5 o'clock. And there was actually a 5 o'clock whistle in our town. So we knew if that whistle blew and we were still on that hill, we were going to get a whooping.
Yep.
In Lebanon, there was a mill that always blew at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And you knew it was time to start thinking about getting towards home because dinner was served. And if you weren't there for dinner, you didn't eat. That's the way it was.
That's
Mom
the way
would
it was.
Mom would put dinner away, and you just didn't eat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you wanted to eat, you'd show up on time.
Right. Absolutely. Okay, well, that does it for the quiz of the week. So don't go away. We'll be back.
Oh yes, you're happily retired now. Hooray for you. Happily retired now. What you gonna do?
Hey there, it's the Monty Man here. Ever wonder if there is more to your recovery than abstinence? Do you feel stuck in your recovery? Well, introducing 12 Essential Insights for Emotional Sobriety by popular recovery author Dr. Alan Berger. Recently, I asked Dr. Berger this question. What is one of the main things that you hope people will absorb by reading this book, 12 Essential Insights for Emotional Sobriety?
Well, I hope what people are going to get in reading the book is, first of all, excited about the possibilities, because that's the great thing about emotional sobriety, is that it opens up so many doors to our life. It opens up a whole new consciousness. So instead of taking things personally, if we don't take things personally, we can really start to get to know the other person. We can start to understand who they are and see what's going on with them, instead of thinking what they're doing is a reflection of how they feel about me.
In Dr. Berger's new book, you will learn the therapeutic value of self-awareness and recover your true self as you experience emotional sobriety. For your autographed copy of 12 Essential Insights for Emotional Sobriety, visit www.abphd.com. Also available on Amazon.
You're happily retired today, hooray. Strike up the band and orchestra, we'll see you down in Florida. You're happily retired today. It's time for you to oversleep and tell the boss to take a leap, a flying leap. Because you're happily retired today. Oh yes, you're happily retired today. It's true, you're happily retired today. Hooray.
That's right. Take a leap. A flying leap.
Just take a step. Just take a step.
I don't know why the movie 9 to 5 comes to mind. Boy, did they have a problem.
Because you've been doing it for years.
Okay. So we picked this topic. Denver, how many weeks has it been since you've retired? Just a couple, right?
Yeah, March 5th is when I hurt my hip, and
Right.
I was already scheduled to retire April 1st.
Yeah.
But I just went ahead and retired that week. I took a week off sick and then said, I'm not going to go back and do this anymore. My hip's not working right. So, yeah, I've been retired now officially probably a month.
Right.
Right at
right.
a month, huh?
Yeah. So one of the things that you do to keep yourself busy is tell the listeners what you do with belts and that kind of thing.
I sell junk, but my major fun hobby has been leather belts. You know,
Right.
I go to craft sales and things like that, which with COVID got shut down during that season, and it's starting to fire back up a little bit. I do realize at this point that I'm probably going to have somebody help me get in with my suitcases of leather and set up a show like that.
Right.
But
yeah, you really enjoy that.
Oh, I do.
Right.
I get out and I drive around, and I realize I don't necessarily care to be on the road with the people anymore. Everybody's pretty fast-paced and high-strung. But you go to a craft show like that, and the folks are different. You know, they're there to enjoy themselves for the day, and it's a great chance for me to visit, share some stories. You know, I bump into a lot of different peoples out there.
Right.
Some into addiction, some ain't. You know, it's just a wonderful opportunity to maybe share a little time with others.
The point is, though, you have something to do. You're not just stagnant. You're not just retired, and now it's you and the TV set and the easy chair.
No.
Right.
I realize already that besides what I do on craft sales and things like that, that opportunity is opening up for me to volunteer.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always, I've been interested in Gleaners for quite some time. Shem up in Sweet Home was a ministry that serves meals to people.
Right.
So, and then
Gleaners is a co-op kind of thing, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Gleaners, you share food and you just you help the communities that are around you.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm probably headed towards that direction. I'm going to revel for another month probably in my retirement and try to figure out, you know, my whole sleep routine is changing. Everything is changing.
Yeah.
Because I don't have that structured schedule I used to have. I don't want to lose a schedule because it's really important for me to have a routine. It's very important for me. So I need to hang on to a routine. I just am rescheduling when I'm going to start that.
Sure.
You know?
Sure. You know, there are plenty of people in the world that really are not happy in the work they do. You know, they go to work because it pays the bills, it crosses some T's and dots some I's, but they're really unhappy in what they do. And that's unfortunate.
Yes, I was blessed.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved my career as an automotive painter.
Yeah.
And I did burn out on that. I mean, it finally became work.
Right.
And I took a few years off through addiction, through everything else, and spent time just up in Sweet Home hunting rock.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it worked out okay. And then I landed a job at the county as a janitor, and I loved it. It was something I just enjoyed getting up and doing every day.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's great. And I feel bad for people that go to work and hate their jobs. You know what I mean? I mean, there are people that dislike their jobs, but there are people that actually loathe their jobs. And they can't wait for retirement. They're just that's what they're always talking about. That's what they're always looking forward to, and that's unfortunate. I think, you know. Now when I was younger, right, and my dad retired, I thought that's the ticket right there. Someday I'm never going to have to work again. it's interesting how our priorities change when we get older, right? So it's not only it's not that big payoff that I thought it was when I was in high school that it would be. It's a transition that is uncomfortable, yet the right move. I'm looking forward to spending more time with my wife. The job that I currently have as education coordinator at the Adult and Teen Challenge Center in Shed, Oregon, requires that I work in the evenings and that I have Friday and Saturday off. Well, my wife has Saturday and Sunday off. So that isn't going to work for me anymore, not at 66. And so I made the decision that at 66, that it was okay to switch from a paid position where I'm under the guise of a schedule to a volunteer position where I can call my own shots, right? I can be home at night with my wife, and we both have the same days off. Because I think it's important that when you're a person of faith, that your priorities are in order. And that would be God first, that goes without saying, your family second, and your job or your ministry becomes third. And everybody else is after that. And I think that's the right decision. But to not have anything to do and just retire, I don't think I would weather that well. So for me, we've got Take 12 Recovery Radio. That's still going to go strong. There's no changes there. And I'm going to volunteer out at the center a couple of days a week and do a 12-step workshop every year, usually around July. So it's important to have something to move into. As a person in recovery, as people in the recovery community, I think people need to pay attention to this show because many of you who are listening are getting there to retirement age. What's your plan? And that's my big question today. Do you have a plan? People without a vision, people without a plan perish. That's a biblical concept. Roger, do you think that it's important to have a plan regardless of what age you're at?
Oh, yeah. I think, if you have no plan, you have no structure in terms of life moving forward. So you need to have some kind of vision to kind of walk towards and walk in.
Yeah.
That's very important. Absolutely. It's interesting how you define retirement because a lot of people would not define it as you did. So you have Take 12 Radio and you're going to continue to work at where you were employed as a volunteer, but you have the freedom to do it when you want to. And I think the key to happy retirement is to have vocation, to have purpose, to have vision, and also to have freedom. So I think the key to that retirement word is to have the freedom to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, and how you want to do it, and still have purpose and plan and all of that.
Yeah. Doing it. Still doing it. Doing the deal. What do you think of all this, Derek? Youngster?
Yeah, at 50, I spend the majority of my free time with individuals that are retired. A good friend, Todd Pugsley, Stan Van Parks, my retired pastor, Rick Ellingson. For whatever reasons, I'm more associated to people that are already retired. My dad, I spend a lot of time with my parents, and it seems those that are most content and satisfied in their retirement are those that stay busy with hobbies, serving other people, volunteering, enjoying time with their wives, not just sitting on the couch ingrained in Fox News, becoming disgruntled and frustrated and ticked off at the world. I at 50, like I said, I've got years before retirement, but I can see all kinds of opportunities within community to give back, to substitute teach, Meals on Wheels. I think about it even at my age, what it would look like, and it's exciting. I mean, I'm excited. I'm I'm blessed in the position. I've worked in a lot of different places over the years, the military, a city worker, watching, paper mill, Willamette Industries for 13 years as a boiler engineer. And I can say this, that where I'm at right now is where God wants me to be. And though it's taxing at times, I wouldn't want to be any other place. I love what I do. I love who I work with, and serving the guys and seeing them meet Jesus and grow in the knowledge of God's word and will. There's nothing that brings me greater joy. And so I for the majority of the time, I don't even see it as work. I'm very thankful and very blessed. So
Right. It's again, it is a incredible blessing to love what you do, even with the taxing times, right?
Yeah.
And why would you give up what you love to do? I don't know why that happened. We're gonna be hearing from
nice little jingle, though.
Excellent.
We're going to be hearing from Richard Quarles as our closing song. That was kind of fun. The producer pushed the wrong button. Crazy guy.
Cecil.
Yeah, Cecil. It's Cecil's fault. Oh, what was that? Was that one of you guys?
Not mine.
No.
We're just having all sorts of fun today.
Mine's turned off.
That deserves a cowbell. Okay. But to love what you do, why would you want to stop? And so to be able to make this shift in my work, and to have a little more control over it, right, is just huge. It's just like I couldn't be more pleased about it. Again, have a plan. Now, listen, we got a couple of remarks on Facebook when they found out what the topic was going to be. Norm P. wrote this in regards to retirement. He said, it was a bit hard. I drank more and more until 2 years ago. So when he retired, he started drinking more. So is that perhaps a man without a plan? Maybe. As people in recovery, we need to be vigilant over our sobriety, right? And, the whole thing about idle hands and all that kind of stuff. Again, a man without a plan can perish. Tom W. wrote, Monty Man, before I got sober and when I was still mid-career, I used to wonder if in retirement I would sit around and drink every day. I needn't have wondered, of course. This is what I would have done. Now that I am less than 10 years from retirement and with 13 years of sobriety under my belt, I am relieved to have this monkey off my back. Now I'm pretty sure my retirement years will be filled with things that give me joy. This is a good topic. Well done. Yeah, so see how his thinking changed? I mean, from when he was younger, yep, when I retire, I'm going to kick back and just pound him, man. Right? And now that's not even in his picture at all, Here are some suggestions that I pulled off the internet. Some of them are a little humorous. Things to do when you retire. Move somewhere new. Have you ever wanted to live in the country or in the big city? Do it. Now, I'm not moving anywhere. Many people that are retiring don't have the energy to do that. I certainly don't have the energy to do that. I can barely move from one room to another half the time. But that's something some people do. Travel the world. One of the top things people hope to do when they retire is travel the world. Don't have the finances for that one, nor am I interested in that. I would rather spend time volunteering out at the Adult and Teen Challenge Recovery Program
service
than travel the world any day. Here's one. I had to laugh at this. Getting a rewarding part-time job. No.
That one cracks me up. It's like, I didn't retire to take another job because I had a great job.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it is different when you are in service I won't even call it volunteerism because that's different. But when you are serving versus when you have a job, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am not taking on a part-time job. I'm going to continue to take 12 radio. I'm going to continue to volunteer. If you miss the routine of working, you can always get a fun part-time job. Whatever that is. Door greeter at Walmart. I often want to stop and ask those guys, do you like what you do? I wonder what the answer I'd get.
You know, one of the funnest little gigs I did, and it was for money at that time, was a bell ringer's job during Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, you like that?
I so loved that job. It was fun. You got to greet people all day. For the most part, everybody was pleasant. Yeah, it was a great volunteer job. But I got paid for that also at that time.
Sure.
But still, the volunteer opportunity is there.
This one is important. Give yourself time to adjust to a fixed income. Mm-hmm. Another big adjustment to retirement is living on a fixed income. You know, so we're going to take a pretty good hit financially, but we also planned. So it really isn't going to be a major deal, right? We're covered just fine. But some things are going to change. We're going to have to tighten up a little bit, right? And you better get ready for that, especially in today's economy, right? Yeah. This one, I laughed so hard when I read it. Exercise more. Everyone wishes they could exercise more. Do they? I don't.
No.
I don't wish that. Roger, do you wish you'd exercise more? You probably do. You're in pretty fit condition.
Actually, yeah. In fact, I need to do some exercise. You know, physiologically, I'm in good shape, but in terms of cardio and other things, I'm not. So, yes, I do need to exercise more. That is definitely at the top of one of my priority lists.
Right. And though I'm not looking forward to that, one of the things I was thinking of was going down as a retired man and joining the Y and getting some swimming in. I'm seriously considering that because that is really good. You know, the buoyancy of the water and doing exercises in the water and so forth is really good when you get up there in years. Enjoy the honeymoon phase. You've worked hard your whole life, so now you can take some time for yourself. Make a daily schedule. If you start to feel bored in retirement, add a little structure back into your life. Mm-hmm. There's the thing about having a plan, right? And this one sounds depressing, but it's okay. Write out a bucket list. That's all right. It's okay. Take on a sponsee if you're in recovery, right? Because now, I mean, I'm a firm believer that if you're going to sponsor somebody, you better have the time to commit to that sponsorship. Amen. Right? Otherwise, don't do it. Right. But now you may have the time to do that and sponsor somebody in recovery. AA road trips to different meetings. You know, my evenings are going to be freed up now. Again, jump in the car, grab a couple guys, go to out-of-town meetings, and have some fun doing that. We used to do that a lot in my early recovery, and I miss doing that. That's something that you can do. Do you ever do that, Roger? Go to meetings that you've never been to before?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to do more of that, actually.
Yeah, you bet. And you travel a lot anyway. You like to drive.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm a road warrior.
You are a road warrior. Absolutely. Yep. So what are some of the dangers of just sitting around doing nothing? Roger?
I don't know of anybody that I've known or aware of or read about or heard about that when they retire sit around and do nothing, they end up dead in short order.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because men, I'm sure women too, but I can't speak for women, but men are created to have purpose and activity in their life. That's the way God created us. So we must have purpose and we must be active. You know, the thought of sitting around doing nothing has no appeal to me whatsoever.
Right.
None.
Yeah. Yeah, Denver, what do you think? What would happen if you just had nothing to do?
You're going to grow real, well, number one, you're going to stove up and not be able to move. You're going to grow callous, too. You know what? You're going to lose your feeling for mankind, I guess. If you're not out having social activity with somebody and you're watching, shall we say what, Fox News 24/7,
right?
You're going to get angry and bitter, and it's going to improve your health. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You need to be out socializing and, well, as much as you can, get out and have some fellowship. Wherever you find that, find some fellowship.
The phrase that comes to mind is restless, irritable, and discontented.
Yeah.
You know,
that chair is going to get that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Even today, as somebody who's going to be new to retirement, but even today and in the last year or so, I am watching less and less news. I'm just not interested in, I'm interested in the topics. I'm interested in the current affairs, but I'm not interested in hearing about them over and over and over and over again with endless dialogue that has no solution. Right. You know, give me the topic, give me the current thing, and let's move on.
Work on a solution.
Yeah. Because otherwise you will get angry, you will get frustrated. And, you know, if you find yourself yelling at the television, it's time to turn it off. Because they ain't hearing you.
Right. Take the dog for a walk. Do something.
Derek, do you ever find times in your life where you just feel like you're just worn out and you want to do nothing, but then you're discontented in doing nothing? Or have you ever got to that point?
I don't know if I've been there, really. I mean, probably. I can't really identify a specific time, but what I was thinking is in terms of just not having a plan without that purpose you all identified, in my mind, that's relapse mentality as well for a guy that's early in his recovery.
Yeah.
To isolate without staying busy, staying focused, serving others. Just breeds depression and self-loathing. Yep. And that's a scary place to be. That's a place where I don't want to be. So I've been and I continue to try to be real deliberate in terms of who and where and how I spend my time. And I think for me individually, I speak for myself, that's super important.
Roger, let me ask you a question. Do you think if a person is retired that they could go to too many meetings?
Well, I think balance is something that none of us have been good at, not demonstrated balance or moderation in our lives. So sure, I mean, you know, my motto used to be, if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. Well, I think that you can burn yourself out if you're just driven without purpose. I mean, if you just like you frantically have to be in meetings 24/7. I don't know that serves a purpose. So I think you know, the question is, why are you going to the meeting? Is it to be of service? Is it to find fellowship? Is it to, you know, share the good news? What's your purpose for doing it? If it's just to fill time, I don't think that's purposeful, and I think that you'll end up getting frantic. And sort of, you know, you've lost vision there.
That is some really wise words, because I fear that people that are headed for retirement may go to whatever they go to for the purpose of filling time and not to really serve or enjoy it or glean what God has for them there. And I think, because, you know, one of the things that people don't know, you don't know what you don't know, right? And that is, how are you going to feel when you make such a big shift? When you go from working every day, you know, for the majority of your life to not working, that is a huge change. And you don't know how you're going to feel. You may think you do, but until especially if you're single, you know, and you don't have your partner anymore, maybe they've passed on, right? And so then all of a sudden now you're at home And, the dog passed away years ago, and the wife's no longer there, and now you're left with you. And I think that can be a very dangerous place to be. And if you're just doing stuff to fill the time and you don't have any passion for what you're doing, maybe before you retire, you get plugged into something. Go down and volunteer at the senior center. Do something to where you're of service, because I am telling you, listeners, that I think if people aren't in the service of some kind of rewarding experience, you can dry up and wither out. And I think it's absolutely essential. The three of us here, four of us actually, we are all very fortunate that we associate in circles that we do, because there's an endless amount of resources where we can serve.
Yes.
But you've got, I've often said that God will not render you white as snow without your cooperation. We have to cooperate. You have to decide to put one foot in front of the other. Get up out of the easy chair, get to the coffee pot, make yourself a cup of coffee, and go outside. Mm-hmm. Get out. You got to get out. You can't stay within those four walls very long. And I think that speaks to the danger of, when you retire, taking too much time off before you do anything. I think it's okay to take a break. We call it a gap, right? But if that gap gets too wide, you could get too comfortable with that, and then it can turn on you.
That's really important to if I'm alone,
right,
I choose to be alone, but I am never lonely. I have so many things in my life that I have passion about.
Right.
Church, family, God, recovery, all of the above. Work is in there somewhere at the bottom. But the point being is I have passion for all of it. And I find reasons to enjoy whatever I'm doing at the moment. And I love the moment. I love being in the now and the present. And whatever it is, I find purpose there. I find purpose, I find passion, and I give all the glory to God. And I don't have bad moments. So I don't get restless, irritable, discontented. And if that comes up, I'm in the hungry, angry, lonely, tired mode, which is, I know, direct solution for that.
Yeah.
So I'm very conscious about the whole, I'm restless, irritable, discontented. If I even approach that, I move immediately to get rid of it.
Yeah. You have to. Because if you get stuck
Absolutely.
in that, you're just on the turntable of death.
Yep.
Closing thoughts, you guys. I'll go with Derek first.
I don't know, the word expectation keeps racing through my thoughts here as I'm listening to you guys talk. I mean, entering into retirement, what is an individual expecting from that? Maybe being able to identify that, establishing healthy boundaries, and developing some sort of program that helps project your future in a safe, sober, secure way, I think would be probably very important in terms of just having healthy expectations, identifying what those are, what you're trying to accomplish. Super valuable.
Yeah. Denver, closing thoughts?
It's a new season coming up, so I'm anxious to find out what it holds.
Yeah. Amen. Roger?
I know God has a purpose in my life, and as long as I'm seeking his purpose, he's going to guide and direct me. And I have great opportunities to be of service both in church and recovery, with family, and at work. And I take great passion and pleasure in all of that. But it's all having a purpose and a vision, and having God's power to act it out.
There you go. Yeah, well spoken. Well, guys, thank you for another great show. Appreciate it, all of you. Our closing song, which tried to start a couple of times, and we'll let it this time, is by Richard Quarles. It's called Retirement Happy. Here's Richard.
Well, I've worked most of my life, day in and day out, but I'm ready for retirement, there's no question or doubt. all around me. I know that I will miss, but I'm really looking forward to some nice retirement bliss. I want to shout now, I'm retirement happy. It's a feeling you just can't beat, and it feels so very sweet. I just want to shout now, I'm retirement happy. My retirement is finally here, after working all those years. Yeah, I'm retirement happy. I have the rest of my life to do the things that I enjoy. I can practice my hobbies or play with my toys. I can rest when I want and even sleep late. I can wake up each day to a feeling that's great. I want to shout now, I'm retirement happy. It's a feeling you just can't beat, and it feels so very sweet. I just want to shout now, I'm retirement happy. My retirement is finally here, after working all those years. Never thought the time would come when there'd be no work to do. So now it's time for me to have some fun and enjoy the view. At first I think I might feel maybe a little bit sad, but later on it probably won't be really all that bad. Retirement life should make everything so very nice and fine. It shouldn't take too long to start having a good time. I want to shout now, I'm retirement happy. It's a feeling you just can't beat, and it feels so very sweet. I just want to shout now, I'm retirement happy. My retirement is finally here, after working all those years. Yeah, I'm retirement happy. Oh yeah, I'm retirement happy. Shout it out.
A very special shout out to my former employer, the amazing Ministry of Adult and Teen Challenge. The work you do for the recovery community far exceeds most. It has been an honor and a privilege to be part of such a powerful work, helping to change our world. Thank you so much, Adult and Teen Challenge. This is not goodbye, it's just a little bit of a shift. All right, my friends, until our next broadcast, this is the Monty Man along with the rest of the Take 12 Recovery Radio family, and we are wishing God's perfect serenity for you. Hey there, my friends. Before we completely close out the show, I just wanted to remind you that Take 12 Recovery Radio is available on all major podcasting platforms. Simply visit our main website at take12radio.com and choose the podcasting platform of your choice. Until next time, God bless and thank you for tuning in to the original Recovery Talk and Positive Music radio station, Take 12 Recovery Radio.
This has been a broadcast of KHLT Recovery Broadcasting.